Welcome to the Trail Boss Squad. My name's John and we're shining the light of Christ one ride at a time. And guys, we've got a video I'm really excited for. We're going to do something to this truck that I've wanted to do probably to every truck I've ever had ever since this type of product was first released. And that is the retractable style bed cover, tonneau cover, guys. And we have partnered with a wonderful brand, OPENROAD. Guys, they have sent us this to put on this Silverado. I've got a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado, should fit 19 through 26. And guys, we're going to put this on and I'm so excited. As far as I know, I'm one of the first people to ever get this. Most of the other ones they had were for the Toyota. And so this is a newly released product. And guys, I can't wait to try it out and put it on and show you what it looks like. I am just ready to see. I've always had bed covers, but usually I get like the $150 bed covers, and they're okay, you know. But today we've got this one, and it's pretty big. From OPENROAD, the tonneau cover version Chevrolet Silverado 1500. They're showing 2014 to 2023, 5.8 foot, but I know it should fit a lot more models than that just because I don't believe the truck bed has changed dimensions. And so let's go ahead and try this out and get it open and put it on. So we've got our box open. Let's go ahead and get some of this packing material out of the way. It looks like it was very well packaged. But guys, this is one of the, as far as I can tell, most affordable retractable tonneau covers on the market right now. And I know these things can go easily up to $2,000. And this really kind of puts it into, I guess, availability for somebody who doesn't have just a ton of money to burn, but still does want that nice retractable tonneau cover. See, we've got some weather stripping here. We've got some tubing. I see we got some brackets. Some more brackets. Some more brackets. Some screws. And lots of bolts. We've got our user manual here. Let's go ahead and look at that. Shouldn't be too difficult of an install. Really, we're just going to put both of our legs onto the back retractable piece. I call the long parts that go down your bed the legs. And then put a little back cover on, get all the clamps down. And then, if you want to put the hoses on there, you can do that as well. So, hopefully, nothing too crazy. So this is everything that you get in the box. You got your actual retractable tonneau cover piece. This thing looks really nice. It is quite heavy. Make sure you just get all your packing material out. I missed that part. We've got all our nuts and bolts. Here we've got one of the legs that will go down the truck bed. On top here we've got the other side. And then we've got this back cover here that will cover the top of this between the bed and the cab of the truck. So, what we need to do, we need to attach this portion to the outside edges on both sides, and then we can set this down in the truck and go from there. So let's go ahead and get that part started. I recommend going ahead and just cutting that box out, laying your retractable tonneau cover here and both of your, what I'm calling legs, out here to the side. That way you've got room to work. You're not scratching everything up. We're going to start on this side, and I'm going to show you how to line this up. I do recommend that you use some of the packing materials and try to raise this leg up to approximately the same height as that. That way when you're sitting that up, you don't have to worry about this end sagging. So on this leg, don't let these fool you. That's not going to go right here. If you turn it over, you will see that we've got 3 screw holes. That's what's going to line up with this. Now, whenever we put this on, we need to make sure that we're aware of this area here, because this part will slide into there. We've got what I'm going to call a guide screw that will go right there. And so that will kind of go in that channel. So you're going to sit that into this channel here. Make sure that this slides into that. And then we can kind of slide it forward and then put our screws in from the bottom. Now, if you've got this sitting on the ground like me, yeah, you're going to have to sit on the ground and put these in. I've seen some people do this in the back of their truck and have these on ladders. You can definitely do that as well. But I don't mind getting down and getting dirty. So let's go ahead and do this process. Now you are going to want to pull your retractable part out, approximately like this, just so we can go ahead and line this up. I'm going to set the end of my leg onto my packing material to get me to the right height. And if you see here, we're wanting to get that right onto that part. We'll move it over a little bit. All right. See how I got in there? And now I want to make sure that that silver screw that's poking out goes into that channel. Now I can't really show you that, but we can feel it popping in right there. And so now we will just make sure on the bottom part that we're lined up. We may need to scoot it forward or back, most likely forward like that, and we'll see if our screws line up. And according to the instructions, we're going to use these black screws to go up from the bottom and into the retractable cover. All right, so we are underneath here, and we see our 3 bolt holes. That is where we're going to put in our small black screws. We just need to make sure that we're lined up with those screw holes. And if you are, go ahead and put your screws in. If not, you probably need to push it towards the front. But I think that we're pretty well lined up, so let's go ahead and put our screws in. Once you get all 3 of these hands started, go ahead and tighten them up with a screwdriver and a 10mm socket to get them real good and tight. All right, now that we've got that side done, we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Now, this is probably the hardest part of this, and so if you breeze through that, congratulations, you're doing really good. If you're like, man, I can't quite get these things lined up, just keep trying. It's just a little tricky because there's a little bit of movement in those screw holes, but you can get it, I got no doubt. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll move to the next step. All right, now we'll take this back piece and we'll just sit it on top of these silver brackets and just line up our holes. And once we get it there, we will go ahead and screw it down. Once your holes are lined up, we'll use these 4. Make sure that your rubber gasket is pushed underneath this. Once you got all that on, we're going to grab our squishy material here and we're going to put that across the back of the truck bed. I'll show you where, but we need to wash up first before we lay this down, just so we can make sure it's good and sticky. So I'm just going to use some glass cleaner I have, and we're just wanting to get this part all the way across clean. Then we'll take our sticky, put it down right there. Now that we've got this clean, we'll just go ahead and take our sticky back off. This is already measured to size. We're going to put it across the back edge. I'm just going to lightly stick it at first in case we need to make an adjustment. We'll just kind of pull the sticky back as we go. And then once we get all the way to the edge and you like where it's at that point we'll really put some pressure down on this. All right, now here comes the fun part, is putting the retractable bed cover on top of this. Definitely recommend you getting some help because this thing is heavy. We're about to see if somebody like me could do it themselves, so you might get a good laugh out of this. All right, I'm gonna get up in here, try to get it up the rest of the way. But you should get help because this stuff is hard. Oh, we did it. It wasn't as bad as I thought. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing pushed up the rest of the way. We want really the back of it to kind of be sitting on our little squishy piece that we put there. And it looks like that rubber gasket that we had, we'll push right onto the back of it. I am out of breath though. And I'm just going back and forth to make sure I just get it pushed all the way up. All right, that looks pretty good. We also want to make sure we get this thing in the middle. I use these little pockets that are not cut out to kind of just use those as guidelines. I could see a bunch of it over here, not much over there, and I just kind of got it to where I could just barely see each side. So now I know I'm pretty much in the middle. So you get a lot of parts in the box, but honestly, for our Silverado, we're only going to need a few. We just need to build our brackets. So the only thing we're going to need one of these little pieces, one of these little swivel mounts, the big L bracket, and then we'll need one of these little squares, one of these little screws here, and one of these. So what we'll do, we'll just take one of these little squares. They have a little protrusion side on that. That's the side that we want to feed our headless bolt through. One end of these is keyed, so we want to make sure that's facing towards us. We're going to feed the other side in. I've just, kind of to the end there. That's all we'll need that for. Kind of make a Thor's hammer out of it. In a minute, we will put this on. You can go ahead and put that on now if you don't want to lose it, but we'll need to take it off before we go to the next step. Now for our bracket, we will take this little piece here, and it's actually going to slide through this top portion here. All right. Now we are going to take this bracket, and we're going to slide the bottom portion through like that. And so that's how we're going to make our bracket. You can see these kind of fit into each other. Now they won't actually touch once we get it on, but that's what we'll do. Now we'll also grab one of these big long ones here, and we're going to, from the L bracket side, feed it through and go into the spot where it has been threaded. And so the way this works, this goes underneath the edge of your bed, pinches, and it tightens up, so it can't squeeze anywhere. This will go into a T-slot, and I'll show you where it's at, into our bed cover. It'll slide all the way down, and this will stick out. We'll take this little portion off. We'll go ahead and tighten that up so it shoves into that top. We'll place it into that, put it on, and tighten everything down. That's the only parts we need. I'll show you how that looks like on the actual truck. So this is what you want it to look like once you are finished. We won't use any of the other spots for our application, but I'll show you how to slide it in now. So if we come to the end of our bed and come up underneath, we will see that we have a track that goes all the way down, but right here at the front, there's one single open spot. We're going to take our little Thor's hammer and just poke it up in there and go ahead and slide it down a little bit. And so that will be how we clamp it. Just like this, we'll take our bracket now and put it on here. Once you get it kind of where you want, you want to feel behind, because mine has this right here, this protrusion. So we want to make sure that we kind of miss that. And so I think right there will be a good spot. We'll take our clamp. It's going to go underneath this edge. Just like that. And then we will simply tighten this down until it pinches it real tight and it can't move. And then once we do that, we will we'll put our other little silver nut right here. And like I said, it'll end up looking like that. Now this bracket, I actually put in and pushed it forward a little bit. That way I can make sure I've kind of got all four corners kind of tied down good. But that's what you should look like. We'll go ahead now and get it tightened up, and we'll do the other side. All right, guys, so I climbed on the back of this. I'm laying down, and it's holding me just fine. I'd be a little leery of standing all my weight into one spot, but spread out like this, it doesn't seem too bad at all. All right, so let's go ahead and show you how to use this. Everything operates with this strap. Now the locking is this way and the unlocking is that way. And so we will pull it towards us and we will pull it this way until we hear a snap, and then we will release it. Now it'll go as fast back as you want to. Now, say we want to pull it back. Let's go ahead and grab our strap, pull it this way, and snap it back to that way, and it will stay. Now, if you only want it to go back a little bit, you can pull it, come this way just a bit without snapping it, and it will stop in a few predefined positions. So now you can ride it just like that, or you can unlock it, get past that, come back towards the middle, and it will snap in the next predefined spot, and so on and so forth. So it kind of operates like what I'm saying, like an old mini blind system. And that's how good it operates. And it works better with two hands instead of one on the camera, but it works just as you would think. It will hold my weight, at least laying down on it. I'm about 190 pounds, and it's pretty awesome. So let's go over a few pros and cons. Pros, this thing looks great, at least in my opinion. I really think it will offer some protection. It's really sturdy. You know, I like the design of the retractable bed covers. I've never had one. It's a lot easier. I used to have a roll-up one. This is so much easier to operate if you want to get, you know, your bed open. So the price, also a good point on this one as well. There's a link in the description. I'm not going to tell you how much it costs today, because it could be different tomorrow. It could be cheaper, it could be more. But at the time of this video, the price is pretty much as good as you can get on one of these. So how about the cons? So I do have a few cons. Some are just general with this type of tonneau cover, and I knew those going in, and that is, one, you lose some of your bed right there. You lose about, you know, this much of it. And so that's no small amount, but that's not the fault of this company. That is just the trade-off with this style of bed cover. My next con is that there are drain holes, and there are on just about all these. And you're supposed to, you know, maybe pull one of these out, or drill a hole down here like they suggest. I even have some holes up front that I could use. I don't know if you can see them from here. So that's pretty standard. The only problem is that, you know, the drain tubes that they give you are maybe 8 inches long, maybe they're a foot long, I'm not sure. That, at least up front, it won't reach even close to the bottom of my bed or to the side, and so they don't provide you with near enough drain tubing to accomplish anything. And I wonder, you know, in like a Toyota or something, a more shallow bed like a Tundra, maybe that would work, but it's not going to do me any good. So I'm going to have to go and purchase some more tubing. That stuff's not expensive, but it's just something you got to consider. All right, for my last, I guess, con, and this is probably the biggest one, as there's a part on this that just, it doesn't function at all. Maybe I got a messed up one. Maybe they're all like that. But the way this is supposed to operate is that there is a little latch here, and there's a piece that you can install that will go right here. You just drill it in, and it's like a little hook, and when you close this, it can just latch onto that. And so once you do that, you can't actually open your truck bed, whether your tailgate, whether you pulled the trigger or not on it, because this would keep it latched. Now, by design, that's easy enough. You just push this button, and this should pull up and unlatch. But the problem is, if you can see it, that button doesn't do anything. I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. Now, on this, it says to pull the handle and then push the button. My handle doesn't move. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it's supposed to. It looks like it might could, but I mean, it's on there. And so, you know, perhaps that was something that was intended, but it doesn't. Now you can lock this, and it will keep the button from being pushed. And I could see the you know, the benefit to that. But as it sits, this doesn't work at all. Now the real danger is if you just saw this and went ahead and installed your locking mechanism, and you close this without knowing this didn't work, I do not know how you would get your bed open. So do not on this one install that locking mechanism unless you verify first that your button does indeed move this. Now you can move it, but it doesn't seem to be really attached to that button at all. Maybe you could take this off, attach it somehow. That's probably my biggest complaint. Now, that's not something I was going to use anyway, I'll be honest with you, so this doesn't affect me at all. I don't even have a handle on mine. So it doesn't really change what I'm doing. But those are my gripes. So I think there's more good than bad here, but if this locking feature was like a selling point for you, I don't think this is going to do it. Honestly wish that, you know, it just wouldn't even be on there, and it either was just a handle, which this doesn't do any. I guess if you were climbed in the back, you could, you know, pull this shut while you were back there. But even then, unless you pulled the cable over to the left-hand side, it wouldn't latch for you. So I don't know that the handle's really even necessary at all. So that's it for the install and review of the OPENROAD retractable bed cover. All in all, my final thoughts, I think this is a classic case of you get what you pay for. This is about as cheap as a retractable bed cover as you can buy on the internet, maybe the cheapest, and therefore it lacking some of the features is completely understandable. But I do wish they would have included a little bit more of the drain hose. Not a big deal. Grab that on Amazon. In fact, I'll leave you a link in the description for what I'm going to use in case you want to get some. But I think this thing, it works good. Its function is exactly what I want, but the locking function is not working. Maybe I just got a bad one, but to me, it doesn't matter. I wasn't going to use it anyway. Once this is closed and my truck is locked, you would have to get a crowbar to pry this thing open. So I think it's pretty well secure. Alright, so that's my review on the OPENROAD retractable bed cover. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, Jesus loves you so much he died for you, and all the honor and glory goes to God. Good night, good trails, and God bless.